This weekend, we have the conference championships in the NFC and the AFC. And today's Downright Sports' preview of both of those. I'm Brent Reed, and this is Downright Sports Pick and Thunder. Let's go. Hello, everybody. This is another Downright Sports 2-in-1 week. How lucky are we? For those of you that have never seen the show before, this is a sports show from a fan's perspective, from a fan's thoughts. So basically, all I do is my research, and that's about it. Today's topic is the conference championships in the NFL. Of course, it's just one game, and then it's the Super Bowl. Well, it's the Pro Bowl, then the Super Bowl. So, if you just want to be that guy. But in the NFC, the teams that are represented in the NFC or representing the NFC will be the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Minnesota Vikings. Why is this important? Because this is the first time for the Eagles in the conference championship since 2005. First time for the Vikings since a couple years ago, 2013. I had it pulled up. I lost it. It's all good. It's not that big deal. I can come back and get it. But in any case, for the other side of the coin, the AFC Championship, the Patriots are back after last year and, of course, before that. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars are back for the first time in the conference championship since 1997. So for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they go to the Super Bowl for the first time in their franchise's history. For the Patriots, they look to be the first franchise ever to go to 10 Super Bowl appearances. The Eagles look to go to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2005. Minnesota's looking to go to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1980. I had it. Dang it. Here it is. Since 1977, when they would have lost to the Oakland Raiders. Funny fact, outside of the Patriots, the other three teams have never, well, obviously Jacksonville, but none of the teams have ever won the Super Bowl. Philly has been to the Super Bowl twice, lost both. Minnesota went to the Super Bowl 4 times in the 70s and lost all 4. They would lose against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Miami Dolphins, the Steelers, who did lose to the Steelers in the 70s, and finally they will lose to the Oakland Raiders. For the Eagles will go to the Super Bowl for the first time in their franchise history in 1981, when they would lose to the Raiders. The Patriots, of course, first went to the Super Bowl against the Chicago Bears in 86, when they played that great 43 defense, 86 Bears. Patriots would then go back to the Super Bowl in 1997, where they would face the Green Bay Packers. The Patriots then will return to the Super Bowl for the first time in 2002, where they faced the Rams, where they would win their first out of 5. They win their first out of 5, and this is during the Belichick era. Now, Belichick and Brady have been on the Patriots so long, you would think they were a part of those other Super Bowls. But anyway, let's preview the first one. That's the NFC Championship game. Who we got? We got the Eagles versus Minnesota. Minnesota is visiting the Eagles. Excuse me. Case Keenum, the journeyman backup, last year was with the Rams. Jeff Fisher treated him like a dead fish. Keenum is showing everybody, I am the man. He's got 318 yards so far this postseason with 1 touchdown, 40 attempts, 25 completions. But what it is, it comes down to a complete package. Stephon Diggs, who made the most magnificent play last week to keep their season alive against the Saints, made one. I wish I could show you. Made one of the most miraculous catches ever. Their defense, which is ranked one of the top defenses in all of football. Minnesota is number 1 in all defense. Number 2, of course, in pass defense. They're facing the Eagles, who is number 1 in rush defense, which last week the Vikings didn't rush that much. Murray had 50 yards, 19 attempts. He had 1 touchdown, but they really spent most of the time putting the ball in the air. Their defense is stellar. They had no sacks last week, but it was only 1 game, so their playoff stats is a little bit slided and jaded. If you look at their regular season stats, though, and we're going to go to the Eagles for my Eagles fans out there real quick. Minnesota, Case Keenum had over 3,500 yards passing, 22 touchdowns. How many interceptions did he have? 7. So the guy has become a fantastic game manager, is what he is. In this season, he's one of the best game managers you can have out there. His quarterback rating is 93. Come on, you can't beat that. The guy has done everything you asked him to, and he's just got 1 game to get them over that hump. If we look at the Eagles, the opposite, the Eagles are in the same scenario. Keenum took over for an injured quarterback. The Eagles had a quarterback the entire year in Carson Wentz, and then boom, he went down like 4 flat tires, baby. And Carson Wentz had a fantastic season. He was on the pace of probably becoming the MVP. He had 33 touchdowns. They had a double-headed dragon in the run game. Neither one had over 1,000 yards rushing, but they did have 2 very good running backs. You had LeGarrette Blount, and then they traded for A.J. Adai from the Miami Dolphins, and he only played, he didn't barely play, but he had over 400 yards rushing with the Eagles. Blount had 766. Blount has proven in the past, when it comes to the playoffs, he gets it done. Just as last year, he was with the playoffs. The guy's just a workhorse. You just give him the ball. He's very good. But here's the funny thing. The Eagles, this postseason, in 2 games, have no touchdowns and have found ways to win. Thank you, my kicker. So, what will they do against the Minnesota Vikings, whose defense is ranked number 1, whose defense is very good? You got to score in this scenario. Nick Foles, the backup quarterback. Nick Foles in 2 games, 30 attempts, 28 completions, 246 yards. I don't think against this Minnesota team that's going to get it done. And for my Eagles fans out there, I'm sorry to tell you, but your season comes to an end this Sunday. At home. Minnesota, they don't care that they're going to play outside. They're used to playing in Green Bay and Chicago this time of year. So what difference does it make? And it's not even going to be that cold in Philly. So you don't even have that for your advantage. So I didn't get the over-unders, and I should have, but I kind of put this together at the last minute. I had an emergency yesterday for my health, so whatever the case is, but you gotta you put it all together. You look at all the facts. I'm looking at it from my perspective. If you're gonna put some money down, put it on Minnesota. I got Minnesota probably winning by 10. I said it, Minnesota by 10. So know if you watch the show, you're welcome. And for my Eagle fans out there, sorry. All right, check it. When we come back, AFC Championship preview. Preston's Patriots taking on nobody's Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, my friend Joe's Jacksonville Jaguars, because he wants to see Jacksonville in the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that in the next segment. This is Downright Sports. I was looking for a sign. I didn't have it. Sorry. This is it. Welcome back. Downright Sports AFC Championship preview for segment 2. Let's jump right into it. Jacksonville's going to take on the New England Patriots. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. The Patriots look to go for the 10th time in their franchise. For Tom Brady, I believe it's his 7th time he's looking to go, if I'm not mistaken. For Jacksonville, they look to go for the first time. A lot of people want to see this, so they think. They really, because the Patriots have become the New York Yankees, they become the Los Angeles Lakers. They become the team to hate and love. Why? Because they win all the time. They have the best quarterback. They have the best head coach. They have the best organization top down. And they stay consistent. In a league where consistency is the Cleveland Browns. Nobody does what the Patriots have done. Not since the Steelers of the 70s. Not even the Cowboys of the early 90s were able to do what the Patriots are able to do. They went to 3, and that was it. The Cowboys, that is. The Patriots are in the conversation, if they haven't put themselves above and beyond everybody, of the Steelers of the 70s, the 49ers of the 80s, and then you gotta say the Patriots of the 2000s. Because in the 90s, you give it to the Cowboys, but after that, it was kind of, everybody was out there. You look at, and the reason why you put the Patriots in the Steelers and the 49ers category is because of stability. They keep the same coach, same quarterback, and that's it. Everybody else, you can change, and you can tell that. Tom Brady is the only guy on the team that's a full-time player that's attached to the first Super Bowl that they won in 2001. Other than that, there's nobody. It's all new crop of guys, except for Tom Terrific. With that being said, they got their hands full with Jacksonville, not from an offensive perspective. Maybe Forte, who's been running amok on everybody, but that's because I think everybody underestimated Jacksonville because they saw, oh, we're playing Jacksonville, let's pack our bags for next week. New England doesn't do that. And now, the concept is, Tom Coughlin, who put together this team, who's the architect of this Jacksonville Jaguars team, was the head coach and architect of who? The New York Giants, who beat New England. I can't speak anymore. Who beat New England in their undefeated season and the 2 years later. So with that, they think Coughlin has the remedy. I don't think they have the same personnel. You're comparing Blake Bortles to Eli Manning. Eli Manning's a two-time Super Bowl champion. The guy has been consistent later in his career. You could compare him to Blake Bortles, but in the early days, Eli was a monster. Blake Bortles, they're afraid for him to throw the ball. Granted, I mean, if you look, compare Blake Bortles' numbers versus Tom Brady's during the season. Blake Bortles has 523 attempts, 315 completions, over 3,600 yards passing. You look at my man, Tom Terrific, Tom Brady, 581 attempts, 385 completions, over 4,500 yards pass, 32 touchdowns. And mind you, he only threw, 8 interceptions. Blake Bortles, 13. It's not a lot, but they make sure he does not throw the ball at all. They don't have that problem with the Patriots. Now, Tom Brady has been sacked 35 times this year. He's been touched. So if Jacksonville brings it, that they just rush Tom, because Tom hates going into that turtle position. If they just rush him, then we got a scenario where it's like, uh-oh, what do we do? Now, here's where Tom Brady's equalizer is, and always will be, Gronkowski. Who stops Gronkowski on Jacksonville? Let me help you answer that. Nobody. Because nobody stops Gronkowski on any team. He's the biggest player on the field. So as long as Tom, I think, has Gronkowski, which he didn't have against the Giants the first time and the second time, I think you got to say, well, got to give this one to the Patriots. Now, I don't think the Patriots are going to blow them out. I think the Patriots probably win realistically. Patriots maybe win by like 6. But last year they had one of the greatest, last year they had one of the greatest comebacks ever in any sport. To be down the way they were and then just come back and win it, it's impossible to think. Maybe that was it. Maybe they blew their load last year, but I don't think so. These guys have made it back. They're at the conference championship again. They look like they haven't missed a beat. They beat the brakes off of Tennessee. I feel bad for Jacksonville, who plays in the same conference as Tennessee. And if Blake Bortles tries to throw the ball at all, the Patriots secondary is one of the best in all of football. You're in trouble because they're going to pick you apart, man. And that's what they do. They make you feel good about yourself. They make you feel all warm and fuzzy. And then they hit you with the poison. And then you just die a slow, painful death. So for all of you that think Jacksonville's going to win, have hope and have faith. There's a chance. I'm not saying the Patriots are for certainly going to win, but my pick is going to be the Patriots going back to the Super Bowl, and they'll face the Minnesota Vikings, and which I think then, because the way Minnesota's fanfare is, the way Minnesota, that stadium rocks, I think then you will see Minnesota beat the Patriots. The Patriots won't be able to overcome that. That place is just going to be electrified, as if The Rock himself showed up. But Patriots by 6. I think Jacksonville gives them a bit of a headache, but you still got Tom Brady. You got Gronkowski. You have where's my man at? You got Brandon Cook. There's too many weapons out there for him. Danny Adair. There's too many weapons for Tom Brady to mess around with. I don't think Jacksonville has that now. They got the run, but that can't be it. You know what I'm saying? If Fournette can beat New England by himself, that guy is the next. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got next. I think Jacksonville, God bless Jacksonville. They had a great year. You know what I'm saying? They really did. Nobody expected this, and you gotta tip your cap. All right, when we come back, a little something different. Must-know news at the end of the show. Let's go. Well, normally I do this in the beginning of the show, but I do the show a little different. So we're doing the must-know news, and we kick it off with baseball. My favorite sport, but they want to do something that a lot of people don't agree with. Baseball traditionally is the slowest sport of all sometimes. It's become slower in the last few years because people want to try to outthink, pitchers want to do their thing. Baseball wants to put in a pitch clock to speed the game up. They've been doing this pitch clock in the minor leagues so far, and they think they got success there. But here's the thing. Baseball's not basketball. Baseball's not football. Baseball's not even soccer. And for those of you that think baseball's too slow, go watch a college football game that you all love so much. The college championship game started at 8 o'clock and was over by 12. Come on! Enough's enough with, baseball's too slow. Baseball's supposed to be slow. That's the concept of the game. The idea behind baseball is that you didn't have to rush. And to tell somebody, now, you want guys who are throwing the ball at 100 miles an hour to start rushing? Yeah, that makes no sense. Slow the breakdown, alright? If anything, do baseball like they do in high school and make guys stay in the batter's box. If you don't, strike one. Make the umpires enforce that. The other thing, just cut the commercials down and the game will be so damn long. That's what happened this. It's just this, you got 55 commercials talking about nothing. You can literally, because the baseball game, here's an idea. You want to get your advertisement in? Baseball games are too long? Put the advertisement while the game is going on. Do it like these do on the radio. Pretty much, here's a perfect example. Now at the plate, Giancarlo Stanton last year won the MVP award for the Miami Marlins. Oh, by the way, go to your local Lowe's. If you need all your lumber, you need all your tools, Lowe's will have it. Go to the local Lowe's. Now back to the game. How hard was that? It was a quick promo, and Lowe's even saves money because they didn't have to hire any actors. I did that. I think it did a pretty good job. Anyway, so baseball wants to put in a pitch clock. I think it's a terrible idea. If you don't think it's a terrible idea, feel free to comment in the bottom and watch how much I care. Because it's on YouTube. Alright, finally we wrap it up. The NBA All-Star team has been picked. The NBA is going to do the All-Star game differently for the first time. NHL's been doing this for quite a while now. They're going to have 2 team captains. Whoever they have the highest the highest votes will become the team captains. And of course, no surprise here, from the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James, and from the West, the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, were respectively voted the team captains. Now, the other players that were voted as starters from the East for the first time since Ray Allen in the 90s, Milwaukee's Giannis Oladipo was voted to the All-Star game for the second straight year. Philadelphia's Joel Embiid, the phenom sensation, he wants to date Rihanna, was voted in. Boston's Kyrie Irving, which is going to be interesting. Will LeBron draft Kyrie, or will Kyrie be playing for Steph? And then finally, Toronto's DeMar DeRozan, who is a phenomenal basketball player, but he plays with Toronto. Those guys' draft was voted. Now from the East Coast, we have the Houston James Harden, Golden State's Kevin Durant, New Orleans Anthony Davis, and New Orleans DeMarcus Cousins. Not bad. Those guys were voted in, and the reserves will probably be selected next week. But the team captains, LeBron and Steph, will pick their players. And I think it's going to be kind of interesting. It's not going to be East versus Western. It's just a true NBA All-Star game, which is going, who gets first pick? Does LeBron take Kevin Durant? Does LeBron take Anthony Davis? Does Steph Curry draft his teammate? How is this really going to play out? I think it's pretty slick. I said the NBA should have did this a long time ago. I think baseball should do this. I think you should do it once every 4 years. I think you do the traditional East and West, and every 4 years, boom, you pop this up. I think it'll be fun. You can even do, or next year, do the World versus America, something. I think they've always should kind of. You can do 2 games. There's no reason you can't. And they do it now. Now, the NBA does do the World versus everybody else in the Shining Stars game. Nobody wants them. Basically, Pharrell and NRD are going to perform at the All-Star game. That album is good. That album is really good. Thank you for watching. Also, earlier this week, I also posted another YouTube show based on the Baseball Hall of Fame. Take a look at that. I'm Just Talking should be posted soon because I did a simulcast. So that should be up and running soon. So thank you, everybody. This has been another Downright Sports. I'll be back next week with another topic. I think I wrote it down. Doesn't matter if I can't find it that fast. You guys enjoy. If it snowed your way, go play in it. Have fun. Deuces.